good morning, and welcome to Morning Mindset. This is a beautiful Sunday, and we are in the final week on the run up to the launch of the brand new One Sourcing 2.0. I always want to say 2.0, but then I think it's not an O, is it? Because it's an O. So I ended up sort of doing I do a hybrid of naught and O. So I'm super excited. Welcome, Anna. Super excited about the run up to this One Sourcing launch. It's an incredible amount of work has gone into it, an incredible amount of reorganizing, replanning, adding in new things that have happened since the previous update, and I'm super excited to release it. And for the first time ever, I'm releasing it a little bit different to what I normally do. I've added a lot of things which are slightly different to what I normally do, and I just think this is like off the charts virtual assistant training that it's going to be hard to beat this one. So I'm super excited about it. And on the run up, I thought it would be really nice to kind of reflect back on my journey as a virtual assistant and to kind of reflect back on some of the things, I guess, to share with you the reasons why I've been in this industry for the last couple of decades. And why I continue to love it and grow with it and love it even more every day, and how you could potentially apply this to your own business. And I know that there are a lot of virtual assistants out there who struggle and are in the process, particularly of building, where they're kind of trying to find their way, like trying to get their clients, trying to figure out what services they should be doing. Things are a little bit disconnected. Maybe things aren't going the way they want them to go. And I think sometimes you can lose sight of your why. And the only thing that's going to keep you going and keep you pushing forward is to really bring yourself back to, why did I even start this in the first place? And that will then drive you and motivate you forward to just keep going, keep moving, So for me, this week, we are talking about the why of virtual assistants. Like, why do you want to be a virtual assistant? Why did you start this? And I'm going to share with you 4 topics which definitely are the forefront of my whys. They're my top 4 whys. And the very, very first one that I'm going to be sharing with you today is the fact that you can live anywhere you want and work anywhere you want. So this was number 1. It's coming up number 1 for me because it really was like that. So I left the UK on a one-way ticket, and I decided, I didn't know what I was going to do. I wanted to change my life. I wanted to travel. I had no significant plans of anything other than take my laptop, take a suitcase, and then see what happens. And as soon as I left the UK, I knew 100% that I'd stepped in to me. I never felt 100% happy in the UK. I never felt that life was really for me. And I didn't know at the time whether I would feel that way if I left, or whether I needed to just go somewhere and miss the UK and want to go home and want to be happier there. I didn't know. Honestly, it was the day before my 24th birthday that I set out to do this, and funnily enough, it's coming up to my 43rd birthday now, this week. So we're talking exactly 19 years ago now, exactly, that I stepped on this plane to figure things out, and I knew 100%. I didn't know where I wanted to be or what I wanted to do, but as soon as I stepped on that plane, I knew that I was going home. I was not home in the UK. I was going to find a place where I could call home. But then once you do that, once you have that realization, then I was thinking, well, what the hell am I going to do? Because I need to make money. I've only ever had a job in the UK. I've never lived anywhere else. I've never worked anywhere else. So, and I don't want a job that's going to restrict me and pin me down like I had in the UK. You know, I worked in finance in the UK. I worked in an office. I couldn't travel with that job. So I was like, what am I going to do? And then I came across virtual assistants, and then it just made so much sense to me. And back then, 19 years ago, it was before everything, before social media, before any kind of platforms that, you know, were mainstream VA stuff, because it just didn't really exist. So you kind of have to make it up as you go along in that way. And I learned how to build myself a website, and I kind of makeshifted some things I could do online, and, you know, I kind of started off that way. It's been a huge learning curve over the last 19 years. But the thing that is always at the top of the list of my why is I never wanted to go back to my old life. It really was a rat race for me. It was working in a job I really didn't like. I had to commute a long time every day. So I spent a lot of time in my car. I was not fulfilled. I had all the material stuff that everybody, you know, says is going to make you happy. I had a great job. You know, I was really young, and I'd had a great job, and I'd earned money. And when I say great job, I mean a well-paid job. And on the surface, it looked like I had the dream car that I wanted. Like on the surface, it looked like, why would you be unhappy? And as soon as I stripped myself down and pretty much had a suitcase and a laptop, but I was free, it was just the most incredible feeling in the world. Like I'd never experienced that before, never. And once you experience that, and once you get a taste of it, you can't go back. Like, and for me, it was like a must. I was just like, I cannot go back. And that is always my biggest driver, and almost always my biggest why. I do have a second biggest why, which I'll tell you about tomorrow when we unpack this topic. But for me, the ability to work from anywhere and not be tied down to any single location. If I want to be, that's fine, but not having to be in one place, you know. And since then, obviously I started off in Egypt. I took the plane to Egypt. I then fell pregnant, so I spent a lot of the pregnancy. I decided to go to France for a lot of the pregnancy. I had my first child in England. Then I moved back to France. Then I had another child in France. Then I moved to Spain. Then I moved to Italy, and then I moved to Greece, and I had another child in Greece. Anyway, in the end, it eventually came full circle, and I'm back here now in Egypt, where it all began, because as I was traveling around, you know, I lived in different countries as an expat, ran my business from different countries as an expat, and traveled to many more and spent extended periods of time in other places. But nothing pulled me like or made me happier than being here in Egypt. And it's really hard to explain, and I don't know why that is, but I decided after well over well over a decade at the time, because I've been back here about 6 years now. For well over a decade, definitely, as I was traveling and moving around, there was nothing that could shake my love for Egypt and wanting to be here on this soil, in this place. So now I have my dream home. I live on the gorgeous Red Sea in Egypt. It's absolutely beautiful. It's sunny every day. It's a gorgeous town I live in El Gouna, and my kids have been through all kinds of schooling, and they're still going through all kinds of schooling right now, but it's my happy place, right? And for me, virtual assistants is what brings me always to my happy places, because I know that from wherever I am and whatever I'm doing, as long as I've got my virtual assistant business, I'm free. Like, I can move around, I can work from anywhere, I can travel, I can stay in one place, I can create a base, or I can just take off. And I completely associate this lifestyle of, even if, you know, like, even if I've been back here for 6 years, just having that ability is huge for me. You know, I've since had a couple more kids as well, so they were born here in Egypt, the last 2 children, and I couldn't be happier. And that sense of freedom and being able to work from anywhere and being able to live anywhere is unrivaled. It's like there's no greater comfort to me than that, and that shows then that there's no greater comfort to me than my virtual assistant business. And the one constant in my whole life since I began, you know, this 19 years ago, so we're coming up to the anniversary of it now, has been that business. It has been it's been there for me throughout this whole time, and this is why I do love virtual assistants so much. And I am so proud of some of the incredible people that have been through OneSourcing and gone out to live their dreams and utilized this one incredible perk that virtual assistants has to offer, which is the freedom to live wherever you want and travel wherever you want. You know, like, we've got so many stories inside OneSourcing of people going off and living in RVs, or people going off to other countries. You know, everyone's heard of Martha, who went to live in Spain. It's just incredible. Virtual assistants is an incredible industry to be in because of the people in it, but it's also a very incredible industry to be in because of what it can do for you. And this is just the first thing that I've got this week. So we have 3 more topics coming up, but the first one definitely is become a virtual assistant. The big why for me was that I can work from anywhere, and I can literally choose any life I want, choose any country I want, choose any place I want, choose any location I want. I can work from my home office, which is something I really love doing now. But, you know, I've worked from bars, cafes, co-working spaces, Airbnbs. Honestly, I've worked all over the place. The playground, you know, with my kids. And it's just the beauty of it. I love it. Okay, so I hope that was helpful for today. We'll be back here with another VAY tomorrow. But in the meantime, we're going to get our journals and we're going to do our accountability. And we're going to start the descent into OneSourcing this week in such a positive way. I feel like this was a really positive session today. And hopefully we'll be getting in the right mindset of really, really thinking to ourselves, like, let's push it and let's just do this thing. Let's do virtual assistants. Okay, guys, we're going to go into accountability now, and I shall see you back here tomorrow. Thank you so much. Before we begin, don't forget you can join me live online inside Virtual Co-working Space at www.virtualmissfriday.com/VCS. If you enjoy this session, give it a like. I'd love to hear from you, so write me a comment. And so you don't miss any updates, don't forget to subscribe. Let's begin. So now we're going to look for the positive with our gratitude. First, we'll spend 1 minute thinking of the day before, thinking of all the things that happened, reflecting on work, interactions, relationships, memorable moments, and more. Now you'll write one thing down minimum that you're grateful for. You can, of course, write down more. Something good, something that went right, a small moment or a big win. The more you search for things to be grateful for, the more you will experience things to be grateful for. Now we're going to read out your goal.
Make sure your goal is written down in a journal or somewhere you can easily access it. Read your goal now, ideally out loud, and commit to this goal. Believe it will happen. And by reading this daily, the universe knows clearly what your goal is, and the things begin to shift in the direction of your goal. Follow your instincts when this happens by taking action. Now you need to see your goal in visualization. Spend this minute thinking about the goal in your mind. See yourself taking steps towards the goal, or even better still, see yourself having already achieved the goal. Close your eyes and go there. Step into the feeling, step into the place, step into the accomplishment. And finally, it's time for your most important task. Set this task for today and make it relating to your goal. This could be something small like sending an email, recording a video, or making a phone call, or it could be bigger. Either way, one task a day is one step forward, and those steps will add up. Do what you can from where you are now. Set the intention, and the action will carry you towards your goal. Well done you for completing your daily co-create session. Have a fantastic day ahead, and I'll see you next time.